Hello and welcome to again another edition of the Time Flies podcast. I am, of course, your host, your wannabe host, Dariel. I have a very wonderful guest. Again, this guy should be paying some sort of rent, some sort of Zoom rent by now. You guys know him by now. I got my guy Rainer in the building. What's good, bro? How you doing?
What's happening? We good. We good. And you already know we here.
We here. I might have to steal that from you. That might be the official tagline of fucking Time Flies. We here.
Let's do it.
But how you been? Everything all right?
Yeah, man. We here. Me and you were talking last night. We were supposed to shoot last night, but pushed it up a little bit because I had to rewatch a couple of these movies,
Facts.
to like see if I gotta maneuver some things around here. Because we doing the top four, but we're doing top 3 and 4 today. Damn,
yeah.
But, but yeah, so
good.
I had to see just because these are the top 4. So we gotta make sure we solid on our list.
It's crunch time, baby. It's crunch time. But yeah, just like for the listeners and viewers, just like my boy Rainer said, today we're trickling down the Spider-Man ranking movies. If you saw the first video, the first podcast that I put out, thank you very much for your time and energy. But we're continuing the list. And again, if you saw that and if you listened to that episode, we did 8 through 5. And now for this episode, we're going to give you our number 4 and our number 3 ranked Spider-Man movies. And we're going to give you our takes, our thoughts, our insights, anything that we want to share with you. And yeah, man, we're just getting it. We're getting right. This is crunch time. This is like Dame time right here, boy. So yeah, I'm putting the pressure on. Pause. But let's get right into it. We're gonna get right into it. Okay. So my guy Rainer, I'm gonna give you the floor. Yeah. What is your 4th best? Because I remember you telling me you don't like me saying 4th worst.
Facts.
Yeah. What's your 4th best Spider-Man movie out of all the Spider-Man movies?
This is tough. But I think the other 3 choices were harder to maneuver around. So I'm gonna be a little comfortable and confident with this one. My number 4 is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Me too. I bet.
This is my number 4. 4. I love this movie. When I first saw it, I was like, that new effect where you just like, yo, this is the best one. This is it. But like over time, like the amount that I like it did not decrease. It's just like after the newness wore off, I was able to kind of re-rank it. Obviously, the Tom Holland trilogy is complete too, so I'm able to rank it a little differently.
Right.
But to get right to it, I like where they took him in this sequel, because obviously in Homecoming, which I think we both had as our number 5,
right,
we talked about how he was grounded. He was very much friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Where in this one, he learned some things in Homecoming. And in this one, he was so far removed from not only that setting, but a lot of those things that he had. And he wanted to remove himself as well. He was trying to juggle his 2 lives now at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because like in Homecoming, he's just like, oh, I want to be this. I want to be Spider-Man. I want to help. I want to do. But in this one, he's like, okay, I have this life that I want to separate and I want to do Peter Parker things. So this movie for me, did that. And it did it well. Like MJ finds out or tells him, because she already knew.
Yeah, she had a
Spider-Man.
Suspicion. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about my bad to cut you off, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about in the second Tom Holland movie, MJ finds out that he's Spider-Man? Because I always have an issue with that in movies. I don't like it has to be well timed. Like I don't like it feeling rushed. So I don't know. Like, what did you feel about that?
Great question. I think it kind of made fun of itself a little bit, whereas it should be a bigger deal. But you got to take into consideration what this universe is, what this character is in this universe, where it's very much a kind of a different take. He's still in high school.
Right.
He's a very different MJ compared to what we're used to. So a lot of those things I took into consideration. But like still, when the moment happened, I was like, it was very much in like in the playing field of her character. And she just like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
I do that. So that I like that, but overall, I didn't really like how it went. Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Mysterio was amazing.
With the God, bro.
You know we love Jake Gyllenhaal. We love us some Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake G.
When he got cast another one, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be sick. And I was thinking about this yesterday. Do you remember when he announced, or he made an Instagram where he got cast as Mysterio? He never had one, but he made one. And he made like a video making fun of it. He's like reading a comic book. You gotta watch it. It's really funny.
Oh, I remember a little bit. Yeah, I definitely saw it, but I don't. I kind of have like little glimpses of it in my mind right now. I can see it a little bit, but I don't fully remember.
3 seconds long, bro. He opens up a comic book. He's like, "What the?" And it just cuts off.
Oh shit!
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was originally in the running to play Spider-Man back when Toby got it.
Correct.
So it's like him playing on that. Like I thought it was really funny. It was really cool. But the movie, like he really did a good job. He played the villain well. The whole twist, which we all knew was coming, but how they did it was really cool. Didn't love the once again Tony Stark villain integration.
Talk about it.
Like I feel like Mysterio really could have been his own thing. Like it makes sense, but like it was just his first villain was related to that. But in the MCU, with Spider-Man being so tied to Iron Man and wanting to be Iron Man, like I get why they did it. But like for Mysterio, I feel like they could have easily not have done that, even though it made sense. The whole nightmare sequence, sick. Like that Jordan had me.
Boy,
I was like, oh, what's going on here? Like it was really good.
You're talking about like when he gets run over by the train, right?
Yeah.
Boy.
Everything leading up to that. Man. It was really
dude.
Good.
I remember in the theater watching this, I was like, wow, what is happening? Like, what is happening right now? It's like an Inception. Like he's going deeper and deeper into the tricks of Mysterio, and it's just like, what?
And it's also like reality hitting him, like, because like, yeah, this is what you want. You want to be Spider-Man, right? Like, this is the you got to deal with. Like, this is the stuff you got to deal with. You got to deal with real people who
talk about it,
like know real shit and like can figure your stuff out and really put you through hell. Like, it's not all this being with Iron Man and them and fighting each like heroes fighting heroes, because that was his biggest experience. Heroes fighting heroes who kind of like have this relationship with each other and love each other. So their battle is completely different from somebody who just doesn't give a damn about you and it's gonna put you through hell. Like that was another like reminder of that. The third act was really sick too. Like just where were they, in London?
London, yeah.
London. It had a nice like mix of comedy with Happy and MJ and Ned. Like I thought it was really cool when he picked up the little shield with the little flashlight that was like the hammer.
Oh yeah. That was pretty funny.
That was funny. Yeah, I thought that was cool. But then like you see him like evolve like once again, like he did in Homecoming when he lifts the debris off his shoulder and everything. Like he has that kind of same transition, like grown up moment, which was really cool. But yeah, man, I have it as my number 4. I had it really high when I first saw it, but overall I thought it was a great movie. I did love his stealth suit. That's one of my favorite suits, by the way. As we talk about Spider-Man, we got to talk about suits.
Spider Monkey. It's like Spider Monkey. That's funny.
Yeah. I know you said this is your number 4 as well. So like, so I don't talk about everything. I want to leave some stuff out so you can speak on it as well.
I feel you. I mean, honestly, it's a lot of the same points that you have. JG is just like again. I'm bringing up the term thespian because you brought it up on our last podcast, and I've been using it actually. I've been using that term. If you check out some of the pods, I've been using that term. But I'm gonna steal from you. Jake G is a fucking thespian, bro. He's like Andrew Garfield. He's like he can throw him in any role, bro, and he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it, bro. And he's just so good in that role, bro. And I've been a Jake G stan for a minute. And then like when I heard him cast as Mysterio, I wasn't like I definitely didn't shun it, but I definitely wasn't overexcited. I was like, I know he's gonna do a good job, but I still want to see it. And then when I saw it, I'm like, of course. Why did I even think that? Like, I'm like, of course, like he just kills it. So Jake G kills it. He knocks it out of the park. Something that when I was rewatching it, something that stuck out to me was the movie starts off with them establishing that Peter has a huge crush on MJ. And if we're looking at it from Homecoming to Far From Home, in Homecoming, we didn't, because I watched these fairly recently. In Homecoming, we didn't really get a vibe that he was crushing on MJ. Like, no, he's crushing on that other girl. I think her name is Lizzie.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah,
and then when I rewatched Far From Home, like one of the first scenes is him and Ned in the lunchroom, and then he's like staring into MJ, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like I see where they're going.
But you know, they hinted at it though because he was always like nervous and shy around her. But he had like Lizzie was that girl in school, so everybody wanted her, and he had a chance. But yeah, that's a great point. Actually. Yeah,
they hit like you said, and you're correct. They hinted at it, but I feel like in Homecoming they didn't hint at it big enough for this huge transition in Far From Home, where he's like, "I want to be with her."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, like, all right, cool, I get it. I mean, we all knew it was gonna lead there, but again, it was just like, okay, we're here now, and I'm just like, all right, whatever, we're here for it. As far as Far From Home overall as a movie, that movie is great, man. That movie is great. But it's just the other movies that we have in front of it. Far From Home has a lot to beat as far as nostalgia, as far as story, as far as the movie itself. Far From Home is definitely not a bad movie. It's a great movie, but the only reason why I have it at number 4 is because the other movies ahead of it are just they're just like better, but I can't even say they're better. It's just maybe personally they have a bigger place in my heart, maybe, you know?
Yeah, I think I could say better. I can say better.
You think so? Okay.
I could say better, but I get what you're saying. Absolutely, completely. Especially like we all know which are the 3 that are left. So, Facts. Like I get what you're saying about the nostalgia and all that stuff. Like, yeah, like that hits it right at the head, but. It was also like Far From Home was a big deal because it's like it's the first sequel. Sequels like can easily just really go south.
Facts.
They did a good job, but like it was still a little safe, and that's why I'm like I can say better about the other ones.
I feel you.
It was still a little bit safe, like
because of the whole like associating the villain to Tony Stark, like stuff like that.
That and a lot of like the themes and stuff, but like the biggest risk was the whole different setting. That was
yeah.
That's what really like drove a lot of the story. But
being like
a little thing too that I would have loved was if Aunt May did not put the suit in his bag.
Why?
It would have changed almost everything, bro. Because he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to pack it.
Right.
So like, what if things would have went his way, but he still would have had to like face these challenges? Because it was gonna happen. Those things are gonna happen. But if he didn't have his suit, like,
go ahead, my bad.
Like it wouldn't even have been in his mind because once again, he's forced to do things when he's trying not to. But like.
Well, you see, the thing is that I that's actually a really good point. Like, I never really thought about it like that. But then when I actually start to think about it, if he never packed the suit, they Nick Fury still would have met up with him, and Nick Fury still would have given him the spider monkey suit.
Right.
So it still would have happened.
Yeah, but like the thing is, his brain would have been on a different thing because when did he notice that he had the suit? I can't remember.
He noticed he had a suit when
the airport.
On the airport, as soon as they landed in London or wherever it was.
Because they went to check his bag and he saw it there. He was like,
they opened it.
Costume. Yeah.
His at the airport, they opened it, and his reaction was like, "Oh shit, it's here!" And the person checking his luggage is looking at the costume.
Yeah, but he didn't end up using it either, right? Yeah, I don't think he did.
No, he did. He used it. He used it. Remember when he met up with Nick Fury and the Shield team, and then Jake Gyllenhaal was telling him about the multiverse.
Yes.
And then Peter is like, I can't wear my costume here. Like, if people see that I'm wearing my costume here, my friends are gonna kind of be able to tell that it's me. So he did use it in Europe for a little bit.
Yeah, he did put it on. I remember because when they took the little boat and then they met up and they were
correct.
Talking. Yeah.
That was also that was a dope scene though when he meets up with Jake G. And then JG is telling him about like, I'm from another universe. And then Peter gets into the dork bag.
Yeah.
And then Jake is like, don't ever apologize for being the smartest in a room. I was like, like, Jesus God, baby.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great scene. Like, they had such good, like, they were really good together, yo. I would love to see them do more movies together. But like, it needs to be, like, I want to see them in some shit, like some thriller, some
drama, some shit,
really well written shit. Like, yeah.
I remember the promotion for that movie. Like, they looked like they were best friends. Like, they were just joking with each other and just like really good friends. And I remember hearing that Tom Holland, like, he hears from Jake G every once in a while through text, and they talk to each other. So they had chemistry was fire. So another point that I wanted to touch on was, you brought it up. You were saying how like the whole Mysterio and they associated Mysterio with being one of Tony Stark's villains, and it's true. Like, I didn't really think about that until you said it, and it's true. That's one reason why you feel like it's safe. And I kind of just wanted to touch upon like you said, Mysterio standing on his own. Like, he definitely could have stood on his own, because from what I remember in the cartoons, which is what I go off of, the Fox 5 cartoons on Saturday mornings, he was like he was a Hollywood makeup artist. I think that's what he was. And then like, he just used that to his advantage, and that's why he had all these different disguises. So after I saw the movie, like, that's always been a thought in my mind. I was like, I wonder how they would have like remixed it with that idea alone. Yeah. I would have loved to see like how they put it up on the screen if they didn't associate Mysterio with like a Tony Stark villain.
But the thing is, because like, he could have still wanted the tech, right? But like, the fact that he kind of had like a direct relationship and he worked with him, things like that, like, it's not the worst thing in the world, right?
Right. No, it's not.
It's not. But it's just like, they could have done a little different, like, because obviously Stark gave him the tech. Mysterio could have had the same intentions without having this relationship to Stark, and still could have got access to the tech and everything. But like, when it did the twist and everything, like, it was a great moment. It made for a great moment, because like, he gave him the shades and he walked out of there. He like kind of held it, and then he's just like, wait.
That switch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, JG kills her. That switch is like, you believe it, and it's just like, oh, there it is, bro.
He's playing when he's like, nah, don't say that, man. He's just like, I'm not that. Nah, you can't give me those. Like, he was fucking with him. He's like, yo, hard. He's just like, all right, like, I'm gonna do it. And then for him to just switch off like that, it was crazy. It was crazy.
It's a really brief scene, but when it's after Peter gets run over the train, and he's calling Happy, and then Happy picks him up in the middle of the field, and then Peter is like, tell me something that only you know. He's like petrified.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what's real anymore. Like, I need to use some sort of anchor to see like this is reality. And it's like really brief, but I'm just like, God, Mysterio, fuck this dude up, bro.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was a huge moment. Yeah.
I kind of wish that they like indulged in that a little bit more because I mean we feel it like once Mysterio turns, once he does the heel turn, they do indulge in it a little bit, but it's like sporadically. I just kind of wanted to like that scene that I'm talking about right now in particular. Like it's like a really brief moment. I wish there was like a really long scene where you just see the mental effect that's had on that has had on Peter slash Spider-Man, and he's just like he just can't figure it out. He's just walking alone. He's trying to he's just like questioning himself. His thoughts are racing. Like I wish they would have had a scene like that, like an elongated scene. But that scene specifically, like really brief, I was like, wow, Mysterio is just fuck this dude up.
That would have been great. I like that you brought that up because like when you think about Iron Man and the trauma that he dealt with and how that evolved his character every time you saw him.
Great point.
Because New York, Iron Man 3, this man made 1 billion suits to protect himself because he didn't want to be in the suit no more. Like all that little stuff. Like, and then like thinking he lost Pepper, and then he starts making a suit for Pepper. Like all that, like everything that he went through and messed with his head made him develop like in a huge way. And it was like over the course of time. And some of them are subtle. Some of them are subtle. If you don't catch it, if you don't like know the character top to bottom in the movies, like you won't catch them. But like something like that would have been really cool to like to back up your point. Because that small moment was big. Because it's like I said, like, yo, this is what you want. We're gonna show you what you gonna deal with.
Yeah. This is the reality of the choice that you made.
Yeah. And then we gotta bring it up.
I have no idea where you're going right now.
We gotta bring up the ending, bro.
Oh, duh.
We gotta bring up the ending.
Yeah.
Like even when he thought Mysterio was done with him.
That was dope.
Nah, we here.
We are
Mysterio
here,
said,
bro.
we here. Oh man.
And were there, if you could kind of put yourself back in that time period, did we hear rumors of what part 3 was going to look like? Like, I don't remember hearing after Far From Home, like after the first time you saw it, can you remember if you saw some things on the internet, if you heard from your friends that like what part 3 was going to look like? Because I don't think I did. Like that was just the ending, and then everything else was just like, okay, we gotta wait to see where they take it from here.
That was it, yeah.
So
it was the first time he's been outed like that.
Yeah, so, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Just like one of the best cliffhangers.
4 years later, because fucking COVID, or 3 years later, or whatever. Shit. But
worth it.
Oh yeah, worth it. But yeah, no, that's true. Great job on bringing that up, because I definitely would have brought it up. Yeah, that cliffhanger at the end, Mysterio brings him out. Oh, and of course, we also got to throw in the resurrection of J. Jonah Jameson. In that.
Oh man, yeah,
played by the great J.K. Simmons.
Yes, sir. Yes,
reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson. That was pretty cool. They hit you with that. First, you're like, "Oh shit, he's back," and then they hit you with the cliffhanger. It's like, what the hell is going on?
They like played with the multiverse so much in this movie.
Crazy.
Like they played with it so much and then did it. Like, yeah, it was.
It's funny. Like a quick little anecdote. So my brother and I, we saw that movie. Shout out my brother Diego. But we saw that movie in theater, and then after we left the theater, I tend to overthink like so many things. So when I saw that scene, I was overthinking. I was like, is J.K. Simmons reprising the J. Jonah Jameson from the Tobey Maguire world, or is he just reprising the role and it's a new universe? And then my brother was just like, bro, like he's just reprising the role, but it's the same character, but it's just like we're gonna put the Tobey Maguire stuff to the side, and they just chose J.K. Simmons to be J. Jonah Jameson, and that's just what it is. Yeah. So I was trying to connect it to Tobey, and I was like, no, like it's not. It's just something separate, but it's cool that it's the same person.
But I mean, those are the things that they want us to do too, which is why they do it.
Yeah,
because like, yeah, you literally cannot find somebody else right now. You cannot find somebody else. So like the fans wanted him, and then like who else do you get? And then who knows? They probably already had their plans for part 3. So they were just like, oh, let's sprinkle this up top to make them think about it. And then, but it not really make sense because if that's the same JK, then like what? But then what happens in the third movie is just like all like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All like pump fakes and like,
yeah. Marvel knows what the fuck they're doing, man. They know what the fuck they're doing, getting in our feelings and all that shit. All right, man. I mean, do you wanna rest Far From Home to bed, or do you have any lasting thoughts? I'm good.
I think we're good on Far From Home, man.
I this is it, bro. This is it because we both agreed Far From Home was number 4. So again, I'm gonna give you the floor. I'm very interested to hear what's your third best Spider-Man movie, my boy.
Oh man, down to this second, I'm still thinking about switching.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on my list. You want me to go first?
Go first.
I'll go first. I'm good. All right. So my third best Spider-Man movie. The first Spider-Man. The first Spider-Man with Tobey, dog. The first Spider-Man with Tobey, dog. Like, so I was going back and forth, but then the more I just kept thinking about it, I was just like, the other 2 movies, like this movie, the first original Spider-Man movie, set the bar for every single Spider-Man movie moving forward. But the 2 movies that I have ranked ahead of this one, it's just they're better, and they're better. One of the movies is better because it's hitting you with everything from the past 20 years, but the other movie is a better movie. And I don't want to give the exact titles because obviously we're still ranking them, so everybody can figure it out. But yeah, man, that's my justification. One of them is throwing everything at you from the last 20 years, but in the other one, it's an actual better movie, which is in sequel talks, like that is extremely hard to do to top the original, and a lot of people have the sequel over the original. But I just rewatched the sequel, and that sequel is crazy. But back to my original take is I have Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, as my third best Spider-Man movie, and just some thoughts. It kind of like rewatching it, I was a little taken back about how they get right into the origin story of Peter Parker, because it's the origin story. They're showing you Uncle Beth's death. They're showing you great power, great responsibility. They're showing you everything, the friendship with Harry, Harry's father. They're showing you every little thing possible. And I was just a little surprised how they get right into Peter being bit by a spider. I thought they would have established a little bit more, just like his life. They do that with the opening scene, which is him running for the bus. So you could tell that he's a dork and nobody really respects him. But I think right after that scene, they're arriving at the fucking Oscorp thing, a laboratory. Yeah, and he's getting bit by the spider, and it's just like, wow, that was a little surprising. But neither here nor there. And then another thing, which is, I think it might be like a reoccurring theme of all these Spider-Man movies, bro. Like the first Spider-Man, they don't show the progression of the wrestling costume into the eventual costume that he ends up with. Like, well, this.
They kind of did it.
You think so? Because from rewatching it, it was like the wrestling costume where he's beating up Macho Man Randy Savage, and then that's it. And then it goes into the costume that he has for the rest of the 2 movies.
Yes, he didn't wear a different costume, but they show you his journey to creating and
Yeah.
getting to the costume.
Yeah, I mean, this is the least worst compared to the Andrew Garfield costume transitions and Tom Holland. I don't think it was that bad either. But this is like the least worst, I think. But like, those like the only two nitpicks that I have, bro. Like the movie is great. Oh, and of course we gotta talk about the God, William Dafoe. Like, stop. Like watching No Way Home made me go back to the first one, obviously, just like everybody else in the world. And it's just like, duh. Like,
I told you he was that good in that one too. It's just like,
yo, it's
stakes are so different in this one. So like, of course, and he's coming back, so he's excited. Been like 20 years, so he's like he elevated, and he's gotten obviously more experience and older and wiser as an actor, as a person. So he's just bringing it on a different level.
It's also the audience too. I feel like compared when that movie came out in 2002, I believe, and then compared to when No Way Home came out, which was a few months ago, 2021, that time difference in between, I feel like the audience has grown as well. The way we react to performances, the way we react to seeing movies, like the audience is smarter. We have a better IQ of just about how movies are made, what actors go through, how they portray it on screen. Like the audience has a higher IQ for all that stuff. So in the moment, 2002, I was like maybe like 11, 12, but it still didn't feel like this was a great performance. It just felt like he's believable. Like it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
But then after rewatching No Way Home, going back to the original Spider-Man, I was like, yeah, he's that dude. He is that dude.
Yeah, man.
So Willem Dafoe, the God, give him all his flowers, man.
Facts.
And I kind of want to talk to you about MJ and Harry Osborne. But yeah, I'll just get into it. Like, what do you think of the casting? Not the characters, the casting of Kirsten Dunst and James Franco.
Not crazy over James Franco. Obviously when it came out growing up, I was just like, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know.
Right.
I only knew Kirsten Dunst. I was the only person I knew from Jumanji as a kid. But yeah, like obviously he's the first Harry Osborne I see, so I like just became used to that. But like going back to see it and seeing who James Franco is, like now, like I've seen a lot of his work and shit like that. I'm just like, huh. But when you watch Freaks and Geeks, I kind of can see why they brought him in.
Legendary. Legendary show.
There was some things that he did that I liked well. Like when he would show those moments of wanting more love from his father. I appreciated those moments. Their dynamic was really well done. But just like him and Kirsten, I never really felt that relationship too well. But maybe that's what it was meant to be, because obviously that was just some sort of like plot.
You're talking about like when they were dating in part one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
Plot thing to push kind of Peter forward in a direction and him as Spider-Man and things like that. But like, yeah, like those moments, like it was just weird to me. Like, especially watching it last night, I was just like, oh, what's going on here? Kirsten Dunst, I like her, man.
Yeah.
I'm cool with her as MJ. Yeah.
She's cool. She's cool as MJ, but I think she got a lot of flack in the moment for being casted as MJ, which it's just you also gotta think about it in the time period. Like if you throw yourself back into that time period, obviously we were younger, but I don't know. I just feel like in that time period, early 2000s, I feel like the crop of actors they could have chosen from for Peter Parker / Spider-Man, for Harry Osborn, for MJ, I don't feel like the crop was big enough.
Right.
Like Tobey Maguire is 30 years old pretending to be he's a high schooler. I think James Franco was around the same age too.
Well, Tobey was like, I think early 20s.
Nah, B. He was like late. He was late 20s into early 30s for the first Spider-Man.
Was he?
I can guarantee it, boy. I'm gonna look it up right now too. So.
Latest I would give him is 27, because I think I looked it up the other day, because they were like, Toby's age now is how old Willem Dafoe was when he shot Spider-Man 1.
What? That sounds crazy. What?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. So he was born in 1975. Okay, give me a second. So we're doing a 2002, right? Yeah.
It's like 27, yeah.
Yeah, 27.
Because I
Yeah.
think I was reading that because I was like, damn, how old was he?
Come
Yeah,
on.
27. Yeah.
Still, bro, late 20s? Still, dog. Still, dog.
Yeah.
Like that's still like, and that's what I'm saying. Like the crop of actors is just it wasn't a big field to choose from at the time. And I mean, but again, like if I'm looking at it from that perspective, like I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right with MJ.
Yeah.
Harry, I'm very in between. I could dig it sometimes, and sometimes I'm like,
Right. I agree.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah. Like I'm sure there was like a another person that you could have chosen that would have felt more timeless and like just better, you know? But I also think like because none of them were really like superstars or megastars or even a star. So like I think Raimi was kind of going for that type of effect of just like three young actors who are like right there, like up and coming type stuff. Because like when we talk about Jake Gyllenhaal almost being cast and like that, you know, like that's that realm of they've done a couple movies, like we know them well enough, but like this can take them elsewhere, but also they're known but not known enough to kind of make this story, which is a comic book movie that was at the time still not really the biggest thing in Hollywood.
Facts.
Like you gotta kind of pull some strings to make this idea work.
Yeah, MJ, the hierarchy of those three actors as far as popularity, it was Kirsten Dunst, and then after that, I don't know, who would you put? Would you put James or would you put Toby?
Bro, I don't even know what Toby did before that.
Facts.
I might put James Franco.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So it's Kirsten, James, and then Toby. So, but Kirsten, like she was known, but she wasn't like really, really known. So
yeah, like she wasn't known like too much for like her skill. She wasn't terrible, because she started as a kid, so like she's known.
Yeah,
like she's solid.
You ever seen you ever, my bad to cut you off, but you ever seen was it the Virgin Suicides? I think it's called. I think that movie came out like in 2000. So the movie came out in 2000 or like 2001. So that was one of her roles prior to Spider-Man. It's intense. It deals with a lot of real life depressing shit. But her performance in that movie, she doesn't really have a lot to offer. Like it's really hard to gauge because she didn't really have a lot to offer. There wasn't a lot of scenes with her in it and her talking and all that stuff. So, but yeah, man, and I've always, going back to Spider-Man, like I'm pretty sure we can find this out, but like I'd always wanted to know who are they going for those three roles. I mean, for Toby, we know that Jake Gyllenhaal was in the running, but like Harry Osborne, besides James Franco, and MJ, besides Kirsten Dunst, like who are they looking at? I just want to know, like, who are they looking at?
Yeah, we could probably look that up. We could probably find that too.
Yeah, it's definitely on the web.
I'm sure. Like, I wonder if there was like somebody for each of those roles that was almost like right there.
I know, me too. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think Jake was right there. I think it was like I think it was them two, like neck and neck.
Yeah, I think he was right there too.
And I think they made the right decision with Toby.
Same, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I think they made the right decision with Toby. All right, man. I'm sorry, bro. I tried to give you enough time as possible, bro.
Listen, man.
Talk to me, dog.
I'm gonna get right to it. I think my final decision is gonna be my number 3. Spider-Man 1.
Oh, all right, bet. We're on the same page.
I was battling with this one and the next movie that I'm gonna choose, which I'm not gonna say, but like there was a specific moment that I was like, I gotta put this over this. There was a specific moment. So, all right, let's get to it. Spider-Man 1. This movie, man, I'm such a fanboy for this movie. I say it all the time. I've told you. I'd say it to people. This is the one that did it for me. This is the one that got me on this fanboy train, on this like, what's next? Who are these characters? What stories did they use? Let me show you something. Hold up.
Are you showing me that poster again with you as Iron Man?
This right here, bro.
What is that? That's the action
20,
figure.
20 years, bro. I've had this.
Mm.
I begged my mom for money, bro. I went to KB Toys and I bought this toy, bro.
My man said KB Toys. Oh
KB
my
Toys,
God. Bro. I remember that, bro.
This Tobey Maguire. This is from the first movie, bro.
For all the viewers, this is a real one right here. All the viewers watching on YouTube, first and foremost, subscribe, of course. But look at my guy Rainer. He's pulling out the Tobey Maguire 2002 action figure. This guy is solidified as a real one.
20 years, bro.
That's movie, man, crazy.
This movie is super special to me, man. And I could watch it over and over again. Obviously, we talked about a couple things about it that, things that we kind of critique, some of the casting. You brought up how quick his origin started, which was interesting. I didn't think about that. But like when I was watching it last night, I kind of dug it because I was like, oh, let's get to it. Like, obviously, like I know the character. We've seen the story told 3-4 times. Like, it was just right to like for them to get just right to it. And for that to be the first iteration of it.
Like the first like legitimate, respectable on-screen iteration of it. Yeah, I feel you. It
was great, man. And like a lot of good writing. And I like Sam Raimi's like technique, man. Like he was just such an interesting but like proper choice. Because there's those moments of like, and we talked about it before, of like those cheesy Sam Raimi moments. It's just like, oh, like that could be so cringy, but it's like it's his style and he knows how to make it work. Loved Uncle Ben and Aunt May in this one. Love both of them. Like, the casting, super good. I wish I would have got a little more Uncle Ben. Just that's how much I liked him. I like that they didn't actually like show too much of his high school life because like there's not much to know about him. It's just the fact that he's in love with this girl. This is his best friend. This is his life outside of school. And this is how his life changes. And now this is another section of his life. Like he already has these separate lives because he has this life at home where he's just like so loved and known. And then when he gets to school, he's a nobody.
Yeah.
Like that's hard to deal with up here, So that's just so interesting. And then like add this shit in there. he gets powers and he's just like, now you mix the two, but with a whole different like entity. Because he's like, now I'm Spider-Man. Everyone loves me. They don't know who I am. But then when I'm Peter Parker, nobody cares about me when I'm out in the real world. But when I'm home, I have all this love. But then he loses his uncle, like in the midst of him getting all these powers and this like new found joy in his life. And then now he has to deal with that grief. And just like the contrast between those two things is just so interesting to see how he maneuvered through it. And you watch the scene where Uncle Ben gets shot. And it was so dope. Like he realizes Uncle Ben and then he's just like, all right, we out. So then the chase starts.
Wait, hold on. Before you get to the chase, we gotta talk about my man Toby crying in that scene. Like that's a meme. That's like a running joke throughout the 3 movies of his movies.
Yeah.
Like his crying is like I mean, I know you're not regarded as one of the best actors of his time, but still at the same time, it's like my man, come on, B, you gotta bring it a little more, dog.
Yeah. His cry wasn't really good. I was watching and I was just like, I can't really.
Real quick.
Fresh off of Tom Holland too, but yeah, go ahead.
Facts. Real quick, which one you think was worse when he's kneeling right over Uncle Ben dying in part 1, or when he's kneeling over Harry dying in part 3. Which one do you think is worse? Yo, because they're both bad, bro.
It might be the Uncle Ben one.
I think so, man. I think so. And
the only reason I choose that one is because of the moment that it was.
Dog.
Because it was the Uncle Ben moment, and it was just like it was funny. It was funny, but like
shout out Toby, man. Shout out Toby.
Facts. I tried to stay in it because I was watching. I was like, huh.
Oh man, go ahead. My bad. Sorry to cut you off, but that's just something
cool.
that came up.
It's funny you brought it up though, because I was thinking it. I was like, should I talk about that? But
I'm always bringing up that shit, bro. Everybody, every time like that meme comes up on my phone, and if I'm around my friends or something, I'm just like, yo, look at this shit, dog. Whatever.
It's just hilarious.
Facts.
Yeah, man. Like he goes right into the chase, and like we've seen him like learn how to web before, but then like now it's the same moment where he's about to swing it to the wall, and his instinct and his thought is just different because of the situation that he's in. And then he just hits the next one. And I was like, and then he just keeps going. Just like my thinking, my brain is just so different now. So like when I see those little moments, I'm just like, damn, like that's so cool. And he talks about it when we see Toby again, how he wanted the guy dead, and like it happened, and he's just there. He's still numb. It's just like this didn't change anything, but like he still kind of had to deal with it, and like that journey kind of happens off screen. That's like one thing I would have liked. Like we talked about that with Far From Home. Like that journey would have been cool to see on screen because it's such a huge moment. Or maybe like he wasn't in that dark place for too long, because like right after that is when he kind of starts figuring out the suits and everything. Aunt May is a little uplifted because she's like just this strong woman, and she knows she's got to take care of him. Like those little things. So he kind of just pushes forward. He finishes high school, all that. So then like he's just like, yo, life is moving. Let me just do what I gotta do. Yeah. Which is a real thing. Like you do that. So yeah. Then like obviously you start seeing the montage, him doing the suit, different drawings, all that, and then he comes out, he's out in the city, he's out in the world, he starts doing Spider-Man things. And you just see like how people are reacting to him, the newspaper, which is like such a cool little thing to add to the montage. And then you get introduced to Jay Jonah and all that. Like,
yeah.
I could go on for days about this movie, bro.
Bro, I'm letting you cook, dog. I'm letting you cook, bro. Whatever you want to say, dog. Whatever you've been wanting to say about this movie, the floor is yours, my boy.
And then, so then obviously we got the Norman Osborn storyline where, like, as a kid, I didn't really know what was going on with him. Right. But like the older guy, and I'm watching, I'm like, oh damn, like they clipped him from his own company. Like it was fucked. And you just kind of like
that scene where he gets clipped from his own company. Fucking Willem Dafoe, dog. I think he displays. I saw something on Twitter or somewhere on the internet where he displays the 5 stages of grief all in that one scene. He's resentful. He's hopeful, and like the other 3, though, you can see the expressions on his face, and he's just representing all of them. Yeah, all within 30 seconds, and it's like, dog, what? It's like, what? Like, yo, my man is a masterful actor, bro.
Yeah, man, they really chose the wrong time to do that, because I think he had already took the serum.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Already. So you're talking about the board members clipping him.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think he already took the serum.
Yeah, he did.
And obviously, like, he's going extreme measures. He's just like, yo, like, he believes in his company. He built this up. Like, the company is so well known that he's just like, I cannot let this fail, to the point that he's like, I gotta do this. I'm gonna show them that it works. Like,
you have any idea what I've been through? You have any idea what I've sacrificed? No, you can't do this to me. Oh God.
It's to me.
Bruh.
Yeah, like
Bruh.
there goes his origin, which is like super great too. And then you go into the Unity Fair. It's the first showdown. Like I didn't notice that because like when I was watching, I was like, "Yo, how far into the movie is this? This is like deep into the movie."
Oh, really?
So like at this point, this is like deep into the movie, but like you're so in it. They showed how every character got to this point, like, and it didn't feel like stretched. It didn't feel like it took too long. It didn't feel like it really missed a lot. And yeah, like Peter's a photographer, and then he's at this fair where
Macy Gray is performing with a raspy voice.
Baby.
Oh man, yo, there's so many like little anecdotes throughout the movie where it's like, damn, this was really early 2000s. Yeah. Macy Gray was popping at the time.
Like Times Square, how it looks and everything, and it's just like, yeah. So like, you get the first showdown, which is really dope because none of them knew each other, none of them knew about each other. This is the first time they faced it all. So he has his mission of trying to kill these motherfuckers, and Peter is just trying to save people, but they're getting in each other's way, and they realize how strong this is. Like their first real like competition. They're like, oh damn, like now I gotta worry about this dude.
Yeah.
Then you see the whole kind of weird Harry MJ thing and all that. Yeah. And then that's when Spider-Man first saves MJ.
Yeah.
Yo, really small detail that pissed me off when I watched this movie last night. So you remember after he jumps off the building from saving MJ, and he's swinging and he runs across the other building? There's like a black building, and he flips, he swings, and when he swings up, he runs on the building. And before, you can hear the footsteps. Like you could hear it. It used to go doop, 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 doop. But when I watched it, it doesn't have it anymore. And that shit pissed me off.
Oh, wow. That's so in detail, bro.
That shit pissed me off, bro.
My man. Wait, so you're saying in the theaters, you remember hearing the footsteps?
Not even the theaters, like even like when I had the DVD or when I would watch it on TV and on FX and shit like it would have the doop, 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 doop. Like it was such a cool detail. Like,
and then where'd you see it last night?
I bought the movies like a couple years ago, so I have it on my iTunes. So
iTunes.
It there, yeah.
Damn, Apple, you fucking up, B.
That was trash, man.
Oh wow, look at this guy. Yeah, you a real one, dog. You a real one, bro.
I really hurt my feelings, man. But
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I'm gonna stay close to their dynamic because we talked about like the other characters a good amount, but like just the progression between the Spider-Man and Goblin relationship, where they're like learning about each other, and then like Goblin is like he kind of is ready to be like, yo, like I like you.
Yep.
Come join me.
Yep. That scene on top of the roof where Spider-Man is like half knocked out and he's like giving him a speech. It's like, what? Yeah. It's like
somebody had mentioned, I forgot where I was reading it. I don't know if it was like Twitter or in the comments or something, like a forum. But they brought up how much Goblin respected Spider-Man, that like he didn't care to know who he was. He just wanted him on his team. And I thought that was really cool for somebody to mention because I never thought of that. He could have really just like unmasked him, but like what for? It's the whole.
He was tied, right? I think he was like tied up or something. Or nah, he was just like
paralyzed him.
Right.
He sprayed him, and then he's like, yo, you'll be paralyzed for a while, but It was like the whole Batman Joker dynamic where Joker doesn't care to know who Batman is.
You cooking, boy. You cooking, boy. Yeah.
He's always like.
that scene. The reason why I remember that scene so much is because it's so subtle. But they're talking on the roof. Spider-Man's on the floor, half knocked out, but he's listening to what Green Goblin's saying. Green Goblin's giving the speech like, "I want you to be on my team." But there's like a subtle moment where he like taps him on the head and then he like leans back. The way that like it's portrayed is like, yo, I fuck with you, bro. And it's like, it's like, ooh, it's like, ooh, I love that.
He saw us.
Yeah, bro. It's like just the way he does it. He's like, I want you on my team, man. And it's like, what? That was dope.
He saw us. And like, even like what he was saying was just like it was good writing, it was great acting, because he's like, yo, like they'll love you until they don't, and then it's just like they don't really care about you anymore, blah, blah, like all that, and like
He's giving him the
that
keys.
was Norman's experience. That was Norman's experience. Like, I'm the top company now. I got a little chink in my armor. Now y'all want to just y'all boot me out my shit, like. So he's trying to tell him from experience, but Spider-Man is just like his morality and everything, just like everything he stands for is just like against that. So he's just
you
like,
cooking, boy. You cooking right now, dog.
man, like, it was so good, man. And just like when he sees him again in that forest firefight, which is hilarious. He's acting like the lady screaming.
Oh yeah.
Fire. Oh, my favorite part of that scene though, when the Spider-Man saves the baby, he comes out, gives this to the lady. And the cop comes. He's just like, hey, don't go anywhere. Stop him.
Yeah.
And then you hear the lady screaming. And he's like, he looks up. And he's just like, I'll be right here when you get back. He said, I'm not coming back, Chief.
I'm not coming back, Chief. Yeah, that was funny. Coming back, Chief.
Catch me if you can. But yeah, like then they have the showdown. Really, I love that fight scene.
That's where he gets cut on like his wrist, and then moving forward at Thanksgiving dinner with Harry, MJ, Aunt May, Norman. That's where Norman finds out it's Peter.
Everything changes there because for Goblin, he's just like, oh damn, like I can't. You're not gonna be on my team, cool. But then he also uses Norman because Norman knows Peter. He puts two and two together, and then it's just like. It's off to the races from there.
Yeah.
Man attacked Aunt May real quick and then went right to MJ. And then we get the final battle. Like, man, like it was really hard for me to place this movie at number 3, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm really with you. Hard, I'm with you, dog. It's
and then the bridge.
We'll get to it. But real quick, what I wanted to say. So after Norman finds out that Peter's Spider-Man at Thanksgiving dinner, I think one of the next scenes is he's going to Aunt May. He blows up her apartment. He takes her, and then Peter's on the payphone at the hospital. Which another anecdote from the early 2000s payphones. But Toby Maguire's on the payphone. He thinks it's MJ, but it's Green Goblin. And then Green Goblin says, "It's like, can the Spider-Man come out to play?" So fast forward to No Way Home, the very last duel at the Statue of Liberty, when I think they've cured everybody. They've cured Sandman, Lizard, Doc Ock, Electro. Everybody knows Green Goblin's coming. Do you remember what Green Goblin says?
Oh shit, he does say that.
He says, "Can Spider-Man come out to play?"
Yeah. So, damn. I didn't catch that.
I don't know if it was like they were trying to connect it between the two, but that's just something I noticed. But it's
funny because it rung a bell because I watched them back to back last night. So it rung a bell when I heard it again. But yeah, damn, yeah.
It's all right. So
yeah, man, that bridge where it's like,
damn.
Once again, he put Peter, aka Spider-Man or / Spider-Man or just Peterman, whatever you want to call him, mashed his worlds together. He mashed his worlds together. He's like, "You gonna do this, or you gonna do that? I'ma choose. Let it here."
So now choose.
Yeah.
And you never know when some lunatic is gonna come up with the sadistic choice.
Oh shit. My man, quoting scenes. I love it.
Itsy spider, water spout.
That was funny.
The goblin and took the spider out.
And all the little kids are like, "Whoa, it's so cool. You're about to die, motherfucker."
That was dope. Dope.
Like it was really cool because like Peter was just like, once he realized like, oh, he was already at her crib, he got her. My man left that hospital so quick. And that little scene where he lands and he goes to the bridge with the 2 flags, he pulls himself. Like, I love that scene. Just like him getting to the bridge.
Yeah. That was dope. That was
like it was just that cool, man. And so like then you got Spider-Man trying to save both the kids and MJ, and then you got the people on the bridge who kind of just show up for Spider-Man. It's just like Look, he's proving him wrong right then and there. Like, you can do both. So that was like a big moment for him. He's just like, you can do both.
Yeah.
They will love you. You know, like, yeah, because like even like he gets shitted on by Jameson live and direct all the time. Like, he takes pictures to get shitted on. So like he obviously thinks about that. He's like, hey, he doesn't feel good about that. So
For like, he takes pictures for dirt cheap too. Like, my man's paying him like 100, 200, 300. I'm like, yo, those pictures are high quality. Like, what?
He's giving him mad pictures too.
Like HD quality in early 2000s. I'm like, my man, like, come on, negotiate, bro. Like,
that man on a building, bro, like 80 something floor. Like, I didn't even get up there, bro. He didn't even ask him questions. He's just like, yo, $100, bro. Here.
It's like, what? Like, looking dead into the lens. I'm like, bro, I would have been like, nah, bro, I need a 1,500 just to take this appointment, dog. Like, what the hell? Bro.
Yeah, man. And then you got that bridge scene. He ends up saving both parties. Goblin gets fed up, takes him into that little building for the Rumble, man.
That was crazy.
The Rumble of the century.
The Rumble in the New York City jungle. You heard?
The beats on him, bro. What's he said? What's he said something about MJ? Just like far from home. No, said something about MJ. That's it. That boy said.
Caught the glider. yeah.
Spin. I was like,
so beating the brakes off him. Yeah.
And then that was like one of the moments where you see like the Goblin play Norman, which is really cool. He did it one. I think the one moment he did it before that was when he was talking to Harry. Harry got home after he saw Aunt May in the hospital with Peter, and then they were holding hands, and then they let go, and Harry came in.
And then when Norman was on the floor, when Harry walked into the room?
No, that was way before that.
Okay.
That was like when he first got to see her, but this was like he heard Norman upstairs.
Oh, right.
Like, yo, you were right. And he's just like, yo, I could have been a better father. I could have done this and that. So that's like, I was like, oh, that's Goblin playing with this thing. And then like he does it again at the end, and he's just like, Peter, it's me.
You've been a son to me. You've been like a son to me.
Oh man, he had the flight posits though, so it's fresh.
Let me be your father to you.
I have a father. Ben Parker.
Oh man, Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. Yeah, this is crazy how we're quoting this shit right now.
He said, "Oh,
don't tell Harry."
It went right. It's not his stomach, right? Those were his nuts, dog. Pause.
Nah, it caught him down there in the abdominal.
Every time I see that scene, I'm like, is that his stomach or just straight up his nuts? Like, what the fuck?
Got in the abdominal, man.
Boy.
But
don't
yeah,
tell
man,
Harry.
Harry.
Douche.
He takes him to Harry and just like, and nobody knew. Only Peter knew that was him. Nobody knew that was him. And you got the funeral and that scene where MJ is like, and then once again, Peter's like, I can't do it because she's like, yo, I love you. I only was thinking about you. Yeah. He's just like, yo, I'm always be there for you as a friend.
Like, hit me with that late night you up text, but it's not gonna be anything else.
That was a huge moment, man. That was such a huge moment because like that's everything he's always wanted. But he chose the life of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, part one, man.
The final swing. Woo. I gotta watch it at least 5 times every time I watch it. I'll be rewinding that shit. The score, bro. Come on, man.
The very, very last scene. Yeah, he's swinging and then he lands on the U.S. On the American flagpole.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to bring this up. I'm glad I remembered. Do you remember the original? I think it was teaser trailer for it.
Yeah,
with the Twin Towers.
Yep.
But then 9/11 happened, and then like we never saw that trailer again.
Pulled it, yeah.
They pulled it, and then the ending they had to throw the American flag in it because of 9/11.
Yep.
And that's something I feel like that's something people forget. It's like the whole 9/11 around that time.
Because that was months after. It wasn't even a year. Because Spider-Man came out in May, I believe.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the summer of 2002. It's like May, June, something like that. Yeah, so it wasn't that it wasn't that far after. It was like 8 months after or some shit.
Yeah, man. So that's Spider-Man for me, bro.
Crazy. Damn, son, you a real one. My man quoted 30,000 different scenes from that fucking movie off rip. Like you a real one, bro. But yeah, man.
Creep.
What you say?
Creep is my father.
Oh,
he's a really good man. I'd be lucky to be half the man he is.
And so if you just keep your mouth shut about things you don't understand, Harry Osborne. Aunt May. Oh, so I'm gonna do a little at the end of our rankings. I'm gonna hit you with a little just a pop-up game that I have in my mind. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's a pop-up little game just regarding all the characters. So I'm gonna give you that. That's the only hint I'll give you. But yeah, man. So we both agreed on number 4 and number 3. Number 4, we got Far From Home. Great movie. But the rest of the movies, Rainer thinks they're a better movie. I have my ideas as to why I ranked Far From Home number 4. But then number 3, we got the original Spider-Man, the movie that set off everything after. We got the original Spider-Man, 2002. Shout out Toby, shout out Kirsten, shout out James, Willem Dafoe, the whole cast, everybody. All right, man. Yeah, so we're gonna end this episode right here. Go ahead.
We forgot to say one thing about Spider-Man 1.
Oh, what?
Can they say that I'm not gonna stay away?
Damn. Nickelback. Yo, it's so funny. It's so funny that you bring that up because around No Way Home, my brother and I, we saw all the movies, and we ended up talking about how promoting the movie is so different nowadays. Nice. Do you remember soundtracks, bro?
Yeah. They always had like a big artist or band to do the song for the movie.
Do you remember, musical artists at that time? They were trying to get the single for that movie because they knew it was gonna be just all over like MTV, all over the radio. Basically, that's it.
What's the last one you remember?
I don't remember, bro. I don't remember, dog.
What's the last one I remember?
I think I know what you're gonna go with, but go ahead.
Linkin Park for Transformers.
That's
big one. And I'm like, after that, I can't think of one.
I think you might be right, bro. I think you might be right.
That was crazy.
For the first one, right?
Yeah.
What the God Shia, boy. The fucking goat Shia. Now he's my goat, bro. He's my goat of all goats. But anyway, yeah, man, it's funny. We were talking about that and we were like, yo, like we don't hear anything about anybody trying to get a single off any movies coming out nowadays. It's like
I didn't even think about that. It's true. They still do soundtracks and shit, but like it's rare because like they do it. But like, because you think about Fast and Furious, they got See You Again, like that. But that transcended that movie. Like,
but the thing is, like that song with Wiz Khalifa, See You Again, like it wasn't promoted as the single from Fast and Furious movie.
Right.
They made the song, Fast and Furious picked it up. They basically established as the song for the movie, and then it just added to the growth of that movie and that song.
I think they did it for the movie.
I'm not sure
because Paul Walker passed away.
Right. I'm not sure. I honestly, I'm not. I think that song was already made before Paul Walker passed away.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. We got to fact check that, but yeah. Man, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I had to bring up that song.
No, it's all good.
Fanboy of Spider-Man 1 forever.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you brought that up. But the time flies. Viewers and listeners, please fact check us in the comments. If you know about that song, See You Again, let us know. But yeah, man, no, it's so funny how the soundtrack, it's like, it's just so different. And, but it's funny that you asked me, like, what's the last thing I remember? What's the last song that I remember they did that? It's not a song, but do you remember the Black Panther soundtrack with TDE?
Oh, yeah.
That, like, that was like on a whole nother level. That was like an amazing body of work, not even just a motion picture soundtrack. It was a great album.
No, yeah, for sure. That was special, man.
And it's funny how it's Marvel connected to Marvel.
Always
I
Marvel, man.
don't know, man. They might know what they're doing over there. They might know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Gotta give them another 10 years, but they might know.
Right. All right. So, okay. So now that we've talked about everything from these two movies, we're going to end this episode here. So before we sign off, please remember to check out the previous episode where we ranked Spider-Man movies 8 through 5. If you're checking out this episode, thank you very much for your time, your energy. Please subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify podcasts. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. We love talking. We love talking to everybody. And again, before we sign off, my guy Rainer, once again, I give the light to my guests. Shout out your socials, where people can reach you at, anything you want.
Socials across the board. Breeze Riches. That's BREEZERICHS. Breeze Riches. Find me on Instagram. Find me on Twitter. My Instagram was private, but now it is not.
Oh, my boy lit.
Back. We here. Yeah, chat me up, man.
Yeah.
Send me cool links. Don't send me spoilers though, man. I don't mess with that. Don't send me trailers. Don't send me spoilers, yo. Don't do it.
Yeah, in fact, I'm still trying to adapt your fucking mantra of just one trailer, that's it, until the movie comes out.
Bro, every time I went to see Batman, Doctor Strange trailer came on, I closed my eyes, put my head down.
Oh, I've been doing that, bro. I've been like, just for TV, like the Morbius trailer, especially. Like, I'm not trying to see nothing else. I'm just, every time a commercial comes up, every YouTube ad, I'm just like, nope.
You getting there.
Little by little, it's a practice. Everything is a practice, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like by now, like everybody should know like what your social media stuff is, because this is like the third, fourth, and we still got more stuff coming. Facts. But yeah, man. But as far as time flies, I'm gonna put all the links down below. You put Twitter, Instagram, for Apple and Spotify podcasts, for the website. I got merch. I got some tote bags. I got some hats. They're very, very affordable. Nothing too expensive. So if you want to show support to the boy, I'd really appreciate it. But all those links are going to be down below. So if you're commenting, also, maybe check out the links. So support the boy. I'd really appreciate it. But once again, Rainer, thank you for your time and your energy for doing this. I always appreciate it. I love talking shit with you. Just getting your insights about the movies, about anything that you got, music, movies, sports, and we got more stuff coming up. So just want to say thank you, my guy.
For sure. We're not gonna stop, man. This has been really exciting, fun. This is one of the most consistent things I got going on in my life, and I'm really having a good time. So yeah, let's do it, man.
Likewise. And we got one more episode coming up as far as the ranking of Spider-Man movies, and that episode is gonna be really good. I'm gonna hit you with the Mr. Burns. I don't know what his character is, but excellent. The Simpsons. But all right, man. So me and my guy Rainer, we're signing off, and we'll check you on the next episode. Peace. That was dope.